of you who will remember that in those days, I grew up in different parts of Nigeria. I'm one of the most privileged Nigerians across northern Nigeria, eastern Nigeria, western Nigeria. In those days, what we used to have in Ibadan was radio fusion. You don't turn the dial, just get music piped into your place. The Nigerian Broadcasting Service in Lagos said something about the Premier of Western Region, Chief Obafemi Awolowo. He wanted a right to reply. He was denied the right. Since he was a regional government and had the right to start his own station, he decided he was going to start his own. But he was not going to start with the old technology called radio. He was going to start with a new emerging technology called television. And in 1959, WNTV started in Ibadan, the very first television station on the continent of Africa. In fact, there was television in Ibadan before there was television in Dublin or Brussels and many parts of Europe. And as the station started, their payoff line was WNTV firsts in Africa. Pastor grew up in Ibadan. Do you remember it? WNTV firsts in Africa. Okpara quickly activated his own. And Eastern Nigeria Broadcasting Service television came. And what was their payoff line? Second to none. If Ibadan was first in Africa, Enugu was second to none. This competitive communalism led to accelerated development in this country. In 1956, crude oil was discovered in Oloibiri, not too far from here, in commercial quantities. A new challenge for development was introduced by that phenomenon. Of its own, a gift from heaven, like a natural resource like that, should not be a problem. Unfortunately for us, the convergence of soldiers and oil with the coup of 1966 created a completely different phenomenon in politics, which a friend of mine, another American political scientist called Richard Joseph, who was also a professor in UI for some years, described in a book, Prebendal Politics in Nigeria. With oil, which meant the government didn't have to care about whether you paid taxes, whether you produced or not. They could just take revenues from oil and spend. Government became the vicar, giving out prebends to assistant vicars. The sharing of the national cake. This phenomenon, Richard Joseph called bureaucratic prebendalism. So the cause of bureaucratic prebendalism led to the decline of production in Nigeria. Energies were invested basically in how to get a bigger share of that national cake. There's a story, and this is fitting to tell this story here. The first time it crystallized in my consciousness was in this very room. At a conference on the South, about 12 years ago in this room, Amechi was governor. I remember he was sitting here there. He's a professor, I think, of economics, who made this point. I had never quite thought of it until that day. He said in the 60s, local governments were not part of the fiscal federalism consideration. Any state or region could create as many local governments as is wanted. The North chose to create much fewer local governments than the South. In fact, in the 60s, there were twice as many local governments in the South as there were in the North. What then happened was the powerful soldiers decided to change the nature of government, bringing in a third tier of government, the local governments. And suddenly local governments could get 29.1 or whatever percentage of revenues They were federally collectible, the distributable full fund. And because they could do that, suddenly there was so much money going to local governments. What happened? The powerful young military people began to create more and more. Everybody's village became a local government. We ended up with 774 local governments, where nearly 500 were what was old northern region, and the balance was in all of the old south. Now, in principle, what that meant was that a certain quantum of resources coming from oil was being shared to those states. What has happened? Those states that were getting more and more and more became poorer and poorer and poorer. And so we have reached a stage where Nigeria has become the poverty capital of the world. And a majority of the states responsible for this poverty are the states that are getting more and more revenues through local government allocation. The lesson, for anybody who understands economics, is that production, not sharing, is what makes rich. Indeed, there is something that is called the lottery effect. Have you seen a poor man who won the lottery 5 years after that? He's usually as poor as he was, or poorer. All the people who didn't know him before will show up. And he will be, helping everybody. One day he will find that he's poorer than all of them. And so what has happened in Nigeria is the abandonment of production has made us poor. And what the trajectory of the Peter Obi campaign and plan is to ensure that we put in place the conditions that will make us producers and therefore uplift us. This has direct consequence for businesses. And businesses have a duty to support that coming alive. There is a natural interest that all of you here have in ensuring that we make this transition from what? To, I can tell you something. I've written 2 books on this subject. The first one was from a macro or microeconomic base. The book published in 1998 is titled Managing Uncertainty, Competition and Strategy in Emerging Economies. A framework that I offered in that book is called the 3E framework, the Emerging Economies Environment Framework. That framework basically shows that the performance of an economy depends significantly on the place of institutions. The institutions are critical to economic performance. What has happened in Nigeria is that our institutions have become weakened. So weakened by this prebendal culture, so weakened by the fact that corrupt politicians were playing games with everybody, that we have reached a stage where a magazine called Forbes in 2019 published an article, 28 May 2019, I believe, that Nigeria was Africa's money-losing machine. If you had a business interest in Nigeria, weak institutions were likely to make you lose money like hell. This is why all those South African companies that poured into Nigeria and gave us ShopRite and gave us this, they're all leaving. We must reverse that and ensure that we begin to create jobs for our young people. This is the essential promise of the Obi campaign. The second book that I wrote 10 years after that first one was titled Why Nations Are Poor. And I tried to isolate the variables that is responsible for how firms perform. Amongst those variables, I just quickly, is he here? Is he here? Oh, okay. The essential thing about this set of variables, okay? So I can stop. Thank God. The basic things, I just mentioned the variables, kind of policy choices we make as a country, the strength of our institutions, the quality of human capital, what we invest in education and healthcare, entrepreneurship, the culture of entrepreneurship, our values, and leadership. Because leaders set the tone of culture, and culture determines human progress. I can tell you with certainty that what will happen in this country after the elections of the 25th of February brings in an Obi-Datti government is that there will be a revolution for good, prosperity for all, and we'll be traveling the track we want to. So make it happen. Give, and create a better future for your children, for my children, for Nigeria. Nigeria will rise up again. Thank you.
Please clap for him. Put your hands together. Clap, 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 and keep clapping. Thank you very much.
I wonder why every time somebody from Labour Party is speaking, you can hear them. I wonder why. And how come the other people are telling us bulablu, bulaba, ubunabale.
Okay, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please, our principal is, we will be doing this. It's very important. The incoming president. Yes, the incoming president. And the man retire. He was in Brno, now is in Port Harcourt. After now, we'll campaign, we'll reach Queen of the Coast. We're in the way we are going with this campaign, one day we'll enter inside river. Enter everywhere. Tomorrow morning, another place there. Because he's looking for a job. And in his own words, you will be everywhere. What's your biggest expectation about the Peter Obi government?
Peter Obi government, as we can all see, will answer the song we have been singing in the national anthem that says, "The labor of our heroes past shall not be in vain." He is the answer to that song. Our heroes will be smiling. He represents the spirit of our heroes. He represents the spirit of freedom. In fact, it is a divine movement more than politics, rooted in the plans of the Almighty God for Nigeria. So, a support for P2B is a support for God's plan for Nigeria. And it is said, heaven help those who help themselves.
But no be Bible talk that, now people wait they copy for exam and quote that Bible verse. When you ask them, they will say Ezekiel chapter 3 verse 16. Is there any book like Ezekiel in the Bible? But for this election, we'll quote it.
Yes. Because as you can see, everyone is advising us, do not miss this opportunity. Do not miss this chance. So if others can see this, do you realize one thing? This is the first time a presidential candidate has been nationally and internationally endorsed.
Yes.
This is the first time.
Yes, it's the first time.
In fact, let me tell you, I school in South Africa, and I can tell you that the ovation Nelson Mandela had as president, P2B has received it greater than Nelson Mandela even before becoming a president. And I tell you, when he becomes a president, he is going to be celebrated even more than Nelson Mandela.
Yeah. Because, before you went to Chatham House, some people go there.
Okay.
And you went and go there, when they ask them, what is the structural component of people shooting gun in Southern Kaduna, then go just hands up. I brought you. Camaro, tell them. Then they ask who get insecurity problem to tell people how to solve insecurity problem. It's just like you see me now and say, what does it take for people to grow tall? You can't point me, point you. Where they 2 feet. Leaves people way tall to tell the secret of being tall. No. But by the time Obi went there, you saw how, did it make you proud? Did it make you proud? Yes. Answer question. Tell them. And that day was the day I was so proud because he was telling them, we will dismantle all the criminal cabal. dismantle reach my one pack. Dismantle all the people that have been collecting. Oh God, dismantle even husband snatchers. Dismantle them. Women, this government will favor you. Say amen.
Amen. So, thank you very much. Permit me to also recognize in this great assembly Dr. L.U. Lekam. He is the media director for PCC in Cross River State, and also Comrade Lincoln Charles, the state chairman of Labour Party in Akwa Ibom State. You are welcome. While we expect the arrival of the most celebrated, the candidate that has everything Nigeria needs in a president, while we expect his arrival, may I invite for a 1-minute speech the veteran Oluwale Okumiyi, head mobilization PCC. Please come forward, and in that order, Professor Mustapha Nwokobia should also get ready. We see him on television every day. I think some of us will be privileged to see him speak live to us. He is the spokesperson of the Big Tent. Also, Professor James Epoke, PCC coordinator, Cross River State, and a former vice chancellor of University of Calabar. Please get ready. In that order, just 1 minute each. Veteran Oluwale, please come forward. Okay, he's our very handsome veteran. Thank you.
Oh, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I am not a protocol person, but I know we have a chair in the house. Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, ably represented by Pastor Itwa Igodalo, and I know Professor Pat Utomi has just left this podium. I am veteran Olawale Okuniyi. I am the National Chief Mobilizer for the Labour Party and the Obi-Datti Presidential Campaign Council. My work is to mobilize the entire Nigeria into the requisite votes needed for our victory. And that is what I am doing. And that is why I'm here. I have brought solidarity and goodwill message from my team and from the southwest Nigeria, the Yoruba people. If you look at me well, you know that my origin is Yoruba land. And I have had cause to stand on this podium so many times. We've done so many things with great people here. It's historical for us. People like Professor Ben Nwabweze, all of them, when we started this process, under the leadership of Chief Tony Enauru of blessed memory, trying to change the shape of this country, how politics is run in Nigeria. And that is what we are still doing under the leadership of Peter Obi presidential campaign. That's the same thing. 30 years, what we started 30 years ago or 40 years ago, even within NADECO, is what we are still pursuing because we have not achieved it. We thought we were going to achieve it under Muhammadu Buhari, but that failed us. And that is why we are here, gathering as a thought force. Because people felt when we started that it will not be possible to have a force different from APC and PDP. We said that is doable. But today is manifest. It's clear that it's doable. You can see the convergence of the forces of credible alternative in the Labour Party. And we are going to win this. But we must be steadfast, resolute, and diligent in what we are doing. It's very important that we bring all resources, we bring all commitment to the table. We bring this together as a collective. That is the message here. And we must appreciate what the South-South Campaign Organization is doing here. and all must participate in it. We must replicate this in all other zones too. It is very important so that we can win. But my message is that we must all be agents and canvassers at our polling unit. Every politics is local. There is no person without a locality. Even the national chairman of Labour Party has his unit. So he must be the chief mobilizer and chief polling unit agent at that level. Because that is what can get us the victory to the presidency. We must be committed and make the requisite sacrifice. Except we make this sacrifice, Nigeria will not change. Today, Nigeria is run aground. We see what they are doing with petrol that we even produce here. We see what they are doing, all sorts of. And we know that both APC and PDP cannot take us anywhere. So, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, my message to us today is that we must turn ourselves wherever we are to the chief polling unit agent and make sure we deliver the goods. I thank you very much.
Thank you so much. So I understand that when we said 1 minute, you use 51 because you are a great politician. When you are talking about Nigerian problem, you do plenty. You go one round up, your mind go say, don't round up. The country is not going up. So you will just pour your hearts out. But we appreciate that. We are all the polling. We must make ourselves polling unit agents. See, they will try. Do you know they can buy people out there? They cannot buy you. You, where they bring 1 million, 10 million, 100 million. How much do they want to come and give you? So I want to beg you, please, on election day, we want you to be close to where it is happening. You cannot. How much do you want to give the royal fathers that are here, the captains of industry that are here? We want you to get involved on that day. Our next speech, please, I don't want to tell you 1 minute because it's not possible. Let me make it 2. Make it bless better pass. Let me make it 2, please. Please, let's invite the spokesperson of the Big Tent, Professor Mustafa Wokobia, my Facebook friend. Happy to see you here.
I'm standing on existing protocol. It is said that every generation out of relative obscurity discovers its mission, fulfills or betrays it. We're at the threshold of history. We're at that point where we must take back our country for good. We're at that point when we must do what is needful, trite, and right. The universe has given us an opportunity. The universe has given us a candidate. The universe has blessed us with an auspicious moment in history where we have a candidate who's untainted, where we have a candidate who's passionate, where we have a candidate who can say to you, since I left my watch as the governor of Anambra State, I have not taken a kobo from the treasury of my state. That's credibility and integrity. We're talking about a candidate who conveys statistics with an uncanny ease. We're talking about a candidate who conveys his emotion, his passion, and his empathy with relentless ease. And we're talking about a candidate who loves this country. We're talking about a movement and emotion never before seen in our country. The love is organic, the passion is amazing. And as I talk to you because I believe that victory is certain. And I believe in the power of numericals. There is something for those who preach like Pastor Itwa. He will tell you about the power of numbers. Christ was the second Adam. In my explanation of what obtains on our political kaleidoscope, we have 2 Siamese twins, the APC, the Leviathan, and the PDP, the Behemoth. They are one. In the political equation that we have today, the second is Peter Gregory Obi. And what is important, what I want you to take note of, is that that election will happen on the 2nd month, on the 25th day of the 2nd month. There's something unique about the new order. So on the 25th, 2 is the number of new, 5 is the number of grace. We're going to have a unique time in our historicity where the masses of our people will elect a new president, bet a new day, hinged on supernatural grace. So I bring you good news. I won't take more than 2 minutes. I challenge you, wherever you are, preach this message like Prophet Muhammad did in Arabia, from house to house when he preached the new way. Preach it like the evangelicals. Preach it like the watchtower. Go from home to home, house to house, unit to unit. Preach it like your lives depend on it, because it does. We must etch a new canvas on our political amphitheater. We must make morality, strong values, credibility, and integrity the minimums in our engagement as a people. We must take back our country for good. We must redefine our politics. And like the prayer pastor talked about, which has gone viral, get a leader that you want your children to be like. I believe that a new day beckons. I believe that a new Nigeria is in the horizon. And with your vote, because there's a place of responsibility for man and for God. God has done this. Across the length and breadth, there's a sweltering harmattan of discontent that's built into an organic bulb of love. And what is important is, on the 25th, use your thumb, use your index finger, vote that which will transform our country, because what we have on our hands is a peaceful, ballot-based people's revolution. And it will happen because on the 25th day of February, amazing grace shall bet a new day for our country. God bless you.
What a speech. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. In a few minutes' time, I will be bringing up a very, I call him solid and kind-hearted man. He will be coming to do the business of the day. I'd like to remind you that today we are out here gathering captives of industry to talk about the business as it concerns the South-South region. But most importantly, winning an election in Nigeria, these men over time have done this. They've monetized our political system. The only country where immediately you win an election, you move from being a poor man and you become a multi-millionaire. It's only in Nigeria. We will flush the system, we will cure it. So some of the money these people coup and recoup is just to make sure they use it in the next election. So we are up against this kind of persons, and that is why we need to raise funds to pursue the new Nigeria, a better Nigeria agenda, and we are glad that you have accepted the cost to be here. Thank you so much. Please give yourself a round of applause one more time. I want to beg our third speaker. It's very important you make it brief. I'm very brief. But before I call him, I'd like to recognize Captain Augustine Okon, PPC Coordinator Akwa Ibom, heavily represented by Engineer Pius Ebong, the Director of Admin Akwa Ibom State PCC. Please wave wherever you are. Thank you so much. And with us this evening, we have the Labour Party, the State Chairman, Labour Party, Rivers State, Comrade Denye Pepo. Please put your hands together for the chairman. And of course, it will be important to recognize the National Vice Chairman, South-South, Comrade Prince Favor Ruben. Please put your hands together for that workaholic man. He's busy and doing a lot. I've asked for the list, I've not gotten it. Maybe I will do that at some point. There are candidates from Cross River State, Edo State, Delta State, Bayelsa State, across the South-South region, rivers, everywhere. Please, in 30 seconds, we want you not to wave your hands. We want you to stand, and we give you that ovation. Please stand on your feet, and then let's clap as they stand. All the candidates that are on the ballot, that are carrying the flag of Labour Party. Thank you, Senator Fabeke, incoming. Please wish them well and keep clapping and celebrate them ahead of time. This is very important. Thank you. Thank you. And let me mention, it is important. Let me mention that you go back with this message. Tell your people that you can't just vote Peter Obi. We need members in the Senate and the House of Rep. Do you agree with me? Yes, these men will attempt to frustrate him for 4 years. But when we have our people in the House of Rep, we have our people in the Senate, they will make things easy and they will make the vision. Yes, so please we beg you, when you pick that paper, tell them, put 3, Papa, Mama, Pikin. Do not broom anywhere, nothing to sweep. The only way to sweep them is to vote Papa, Mama, Pikin. No umbrella can give you food. We've confirmed it, rain will fall and scatter everywhere. So just put 3, President, Senate, and House of Rep. The 3 of them should be what? LP. Pass the message, spread it around. And we are going to do this now. And we're going to take the keynote address. It's important we do that now, the keynote address. That is the next item we have on our program.
Thank you very much. Professor James Epoke will speak after the keynote address as directed by the organizers of this event. At this point, permit me to invite to the podium for a keynote address by His Lordship Most Reverend Dr. Matthew Kuka, here represented by Reverend Francis Tete. Reverend Francis Tete, please clap for him. Thank you very much. Yes, Reverend Francis. Thank you.
Good evening. Good evening, dear brothers and sisters, fellow Nigerians, and lovers of our dear and only country. I greet you all in the name of the Lord. Amen. Good governance, the path to making Nigeria great. By Reverend Father Francis Tete, on behalf of Most Reverend Matthew Hassan Kuka, at the Obi-Datti South-South Campaign Organization Business Summit fundraising. Gratitude. I'd like to thank the man I represent, the spiritual father of the Good Governance Campaign in Nigeria, Bishop Matthew Hassan Kuka, for giving me the assignment to represent him at this gathering on account of his being unavoidably absent. He's involved in getting ready to receive His Holiness Pope Francis into Africa in the next 24 hours or thereabout. Point of departure. I'd like to begin, dear friends, with a clarification. We are used to hearing about making Nigeria great again. We've been hearing people say that. I want to begin with correcting that. I rather want to say, as in our keynote topic, that good governance is a path to making Nigeria great, not great again. Why? Because Nigeria has not been great before. This is the only time Nigeria is going to be great. The nations of the civilized West, America can talk about making America great again. France can talk about making France great again, because they have a long history of constitutional government and industrial economy that sometimes when they have challenges, they have depression, and then when they come back and reorganize and meet up again, they talk about making America great again, making Britain great again. But Nigeria has not really been great before. And there is no evidence that Nigeria has been great before. So it is now, precisely now, that we want to make Nigeria great. In the past, for instance, the Benin Kingdom had been great. Lagos, as a city-state, was great. Opobo Kingdom was great. Bonny Kingdom was great. The various communities and kingdoms of Igbo land, of Hausa land, the Kanuri and Kane Bruno empires were great. Kano City was a great international trade center even before colonialism. But all of those greatness were not in Nigeria. Then we did not have Nigeria. Those were great city-states of various indigenous peoples in the territory that later came to be called Nigeria. Since 1914, when Nigeria got amalgamated, and 1960, when we had independence, through those years, Nigeria has not achieved the greatness. Nigeria has scored a goal at an international football, but that is not the greatness of the nation. Nigerian professors and businessmen have made excellence and received international prizes at their various specialties, but that is not Nigeria as a nation achieving greatness, having a nation where people can be happy and be proud of as our country and can, do business and make investments and be sure to make profit and be sure that your investments are not wasted. Nigeria has yet to achieve that greatness. In the course of our nationhood, since 1914 through 1960 and to this day, various efforts have therefore been made to make Nigeria great, but they have not been as effective. They've not been successful yet. That is why we are here, and that is why this election 2023 is a significant moment to score the goals that could not be scored during those various governments, those regimes. I want to mention 3 strategies that have been deployed to making Nigeria great, and they failed. Interestingly, while I listened to Professor Utomi, he mentioned some of those key efforts. Number one of the efforts that was used, that was the strategy that was deployed, was regionalism. Regionalism. It was an attempt, an idea spearheaded then by Awolowo of allowing the regions to grow at their pace so that when each region grows as best as it can, then the nation grows. When the West, the East, and the North grows as best as it can, then you have a great Nigeria. That was the dream. But what happened to regionalism? Regionalism immediately didn't waste time to turn into ethnicity, into tribalism, into religious bigotry. You will know that the first parties, the Action Congress, the NPC, and the NCNC were all tribally located. Why? Because regionalism was quickly misunderstood into a tribal outing. And rather than yield the intended result, even though Awolowo succeeded significantly in raising the West educationally and in agriculture, but the greatness that Nigeria could have gotten if all the regions had grown could not be achieved. Because of what? Ethnicity, tribalism, bigotry. Religion was soon drafted into region. This region worshipped this, that region worshipped that, and so they were mixed up. And so regionalism failed us. Okudiba Noli would write in Ethnic Politics in Nigeria that the premier leaders, rather than actually make commitment to building their regions, used their regions and ethnic sentiments related to regionalism to galvanize political attention to themselves. Regionalism, therefore, did not give Nigeria the greatness she needed. The next strategy that was deployed after regionalism was military politics, military government. In the face of the corruption engendered by regional politics and its ethnic, tribal, and religious sentiments, the military came in repeatedly, especially as this whole regional struggle gave good space for corruption. The military came in often with the excuse of cleaning the house, of banishing corruption. And one would have thought that with the power of the military, if the military was determined, something good could come out of each of the military regimes. But not so, Nigeria, not so. Military regimes came and went, and the goal of achieving a great Nigeria was not realized. The military officers soon became tribalistic, became ethnic, became religious, became fanatical, if you like. The military officers turned around and did the same thing that the civilians were doing, even did it worse. The result were coup d'etats and reprisal coups. The result was war and destruction. And so, in fact, for us to get out of military's hold, not only we couldn't get greatness, but we got tongue-tied by the military. It took what Karl Mayer, British journalist, calls a coup from heaven. That is, the death of one of the military dictators. Karl Mayer calls it a coup from heaven. It took a coup from heaven for us to be liberated from military government. So military government could not make Nigeria great. The other strategy deployed for making Nigeria great was politics of state creation. Politics of state creation. Following the Henry Willig Commission of 1957, the Commission of Inquiry for Minority Affairs, Nigerian leaders had been convinced that the creation of states will make governance reach out to the recesses of the nation. And so states were created. First of all, the regions were expanded. The southern region was divided into the eastern and western province. And then in 1967, on the eve of the Civil War, 12 states were created. And after this first full outing of creation of state, the creation of state became a regular political activity. And so we got more states, more states, more states. How many do we have now? How many? 36 plus 1. 36 plus 1. Has it gotten Nigeria better? Do we need more states? Would that be the solution to our problem? We need 100 states. This creation of state was thought to be a strategy for making Nigeria great, for reaching out, delivering on good governance to the various peoples that made up Nigeria. But not so. The psalmist will say, not so the wicked, not so. Not so Nigeria, not so. Rather than use the many states created to deliver public service to the people, the creation of many states became an avenue to dash states to your in-laws. If your wife is from so place, you create one state there. Just one state there, like, one flyover, one state, and all of that. So the creation of states became a strategy for, settlement. Yes, for settlement. And then if a particular people cry so much or they tend to constitute some problem, you give them one state. Otherwise, the states became an avenue where you also send your boys and political cohorts who become military administrators, who become local government sole administrators. that Prof was talking about. And then the monies from crude oil, the petrodollars, could now, run through those pipes and be wasted for several decades. So, state creation failed to be a strategy for making Nigeria great. Instead, it became a strategy for killing the nation, especially as politicians saw the nation as a big cake that had already been baked. And what was left is the sharing of this cake. That was all that was left. The cake was already baked. So we seek to get to power in order to be at the edge of the table where the cake is being shared. That became the purpose of being in politics, to share the cake, national cake. So with that national cake mentality, Bayelsa was given a state, for instance, for how many years ago, with the funds going into Bayelsa, what difference has Bayelsa made after how many years of statehood compared to how that territory of Nigeria was before state creation? But check Ebonyi, its twin in state creation. After just a few years of something close to good governance, you see that Ebonyi has become something more like what a state should be in comparison for Bayelsa. Don't you see the difference? And what is the difference? Governance, good governance. Not how many states, but good governance. So that takes us finally to good governance as the path to making Nigeria great, which is our topic. Good governance. The recognition of good governance as the fulcrum of socio-political and economic development emerged gradually in the 1990s as the one-size-fits-for-all buzzword for legitimate, effective, accountable, and transparent exercise of state power necessary for the attainment of civil, political, economic, social, and cultural rights of members of any political community. In 1996, IMF declared that without good governance, economies cannot prosper. Without good governance, no nation can prosper. The opposite, yes, you can take note of that. Without good governance, no nation can prosper. The opposite of good governance, which is what Nigeria has got from previous efforts of state activities we have mentioned, is state capture. And I was pleased when our professor also mentioned state capture. Yes. According to the 14th International Anti-Corruption Conference in Bangkok 2010, the term state capture is now widely used to describe such states that are seized by a small circle of influential people seeking to protect their vested interests. It is about those in power seeking to perpetuate their power through virtual control and manipulation of essential institutions of state against public trust and public good. State capture leads to all the ills we suffer as Nigerians today: corruption, poverty, insecurity, banditry, lack of health, transport, and educational facilities, etc. Good governance, on the other hand, promises economic prudence, financial austerity, infrastructural development, state security, and national pride. Very important for this gathering, good governance creates a level playground for business people to invest, to make investments, and be confident to make profit and grow their business freely and progressively. Conclusion, and this is very important for all of us. Conclusion. In these 2023 general elections, Nigerians have a rare opportunity to see the promise the promise of good governance being dangled in their face. Hello? Are you there? In this 2023 election, Nigerians have the rare opportunity of seeing the promise of good governance being dangled like this in our face. Like this, good governance. See it, take it or leave it. Good governance. See it, take it or leave it. Are we taking it or are we leaving it? Good governance is being dangled in our face like this. Take it or leave it. Are we taking it or leaving it? Good governance is being dangled in our face while state capture is also staring us in the face. State capture is not gone. And as Okonjo Iweala said in Redeeming the Irredeemable, corruption fights back. Corruption fights back. Corruption does not sit and watch it being dismantled. No, corruption fights to preserve itself. So you can be sure that corruption will not allow you to just push it away. You have to work hard, struggle, fight in the positive sense of being resilient, of being insistent, of standing on your feet, of doing whatever you must do in order to seize good governance and end state capture. Let me say that those who benefit from state capture will try to use money to buy power once again. Would they not? Would they not? They will try to use money to buy power once again. Those who hold the promise of good governance but do not have stolen wealth to buy power stand in need of support from the business community in the financial details. Yes, those who hold the insignia of good governance but do not have stolen wealth stand in need of support from the business community to defend the integrity of the election, to campaign effectively and win the election. The choice is ours to make, not only to vote on election day, but to support the process that will lead to the elections. And if we do this and achieve good governance for Nigeria, we achieve so for ourselves. Otherwise, we will have state capture to hold us and hold us on and on, unending. But may God deliver Nigeria from continual state capture through Christ our Lord. Thank you for listening, and God bless Nigeria.
Thank you so much. Please keep clapping. That was Reverend Father Francis Echeche. Thank you so much. Representing His Lordship, the Most Reverend Dr. Matthew Kuka. Thank you so much. We choose good governance. We choose good governance. And it's very important we accept that we need it to change, to make a difference. We need it to make a difference. We need it to start hearing the things which we hear. ASU strike, some people are stayed at home for years, and nobody is bothered because their sons and their daughters traveled out with our money to go to somewhere to school. You cannot even enjoy life again. Sardine, I told you. Now if you eat sardine, you are a big man. You eat sardine, big man. You will not clean your mouth. The oil will shine. Make them know so you don't chop sardine. And what Peter Obi government will do to make you understand that the cost of living will be reduced and our standard of living will go up. But one more time, put your hands together for that. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. We have to move straight into the business of the day. You've received your forms. And I also want to remind you from the information reaching us that our principal, Please Clap, is already in town, and in a few minutes he will be here with us. Clap for Safe Journey first. Very important for Safe Journey. Yes. Clap. Not only in Nigeria, we God to the city. No. we cannot allow poverty to eat this country. Poor men things and rich people things are not the same. Poor men's school go to one kind of school. Rich men's children, you hear the name of the school, you be proud. Chasdale Montessori. The way they are teaching A for apple, B for banana, C for carrot. You like it. Poor men's school from the name of the school. Shine your eye, Northern Primary School. And then they teach them things where they like saying wicked things. A for armed robber, B for bastard, C for criminal, D for devil, E for excuse, F for failure, G for gossip. So we do this, and it is very important. Immediately, I like to bring on stage this wonderful. So, ladies and gentlemen, please, in a short time, you will get the signal you stand. But for the business of the day, I'd like to hand over to someone to help us do it. Put your hands together. I'll bring on stage Engineer Demary Doubly Green. Please put your hands together as he comes to the stage.
Good evening. I want to put some energy in us. Good evening. Good evening. We have all prayed. We have all talked. Now, today, now is the action of the day. And why are we here? We are here for good governance. We have seen a man that will deliver that. We are here for equity. We have seen a man that will deliver that. We are here for fairness. We have seen a man that will deliver that. And how can he deliver it? We have to partner with him. And that partnership is why you are here. Please clap for yourselves. If you believe you can partner with him, give yourself another round of applause. We are here to partner with Peter, Obi, and Datti to deliver us. Can you imagine how much you have to pay? Therefore,
please may we all arise and welcome to this house our principal, the most competent Nigeria presidential candidate with capacity, with character, Nigeria is very unblemished track record.
I will be obedient and useful. I will be obedient and useful. For better Nigeria. I will be obedient and useful. I will be obedient and useful. For better Nigeria. For better Nigeria, I will be obedient and useful. I will be obedient and useful. For better Nigeria. Oh yeah, Obi Gerere. For better Nigeria. For better Nigeria. From consumption to production. I will be obedient and useful.
Thank you.
I will be obedient and useful.
Thank you.
For better Nigeria.
Thank you very much. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we have in our midst our principal, the presidential candidate of Labour Party, the man with outstanding character, the man with extraordinary capacity, the man with an unblemished record in the history of presidential candidates in the Republic of Nigeria. Join me as we welcome His Excellency Peter Obi. Please clap, 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 clap. Also, we have in our midst the national chairman, the man I describe as the best political national chairman in Nigeria, Barrister Julius Abure. Please clap for him. Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to ask all the media, please reposition yourself. Everybody, you return back to your seat. In the next 2 minutes, we need to get the house in order so that we officially get the business of the day done.
May I also recognize Comrade Clement Ojukwu, the National Organizing Secretary and Secretary PCC. You are welcome. Please clap for him.
So thank you, everybody. Sit down, please. We want the eye to be clear. Please, the protocols, get everybody back on your seat. Get everybody back on your seat. We need the eyes to be clear immediately. Thank you so much.
Please return to your seat. Please.
And then I noticed as well that some of you were sitting, you were not sitting in front, and all of a sudden, you want to come to the front. I don't know why. Because they make work hard for us.
Please return to your seat. Return to your seat and allow us to continue with
Okay,
the
thank you
of the
very
day.
much. Now we are into the business of the day, and here our principal is here. We have to raise funds. Politics is not a joke. We have to raise funds. We have to move people to the creeks. We have to move people to the villages. We have to move people to all the crannies, areas that have been calling for development. Now that we have gotten somebody to rescue Nigeria, this is the time we have to demonstrate that strength. This is the time we have to demonstrate that partnership. This is the time we have to sow that seed. And that's the only time we have to do that. And we have to demonstrate that. And somebody, a young lady, about 14 years, she came here, she said she only wants to contribute her widow's mite. And that privilege I'm giving to her to step forward. Chizaba, could you step forward, please? Could you step forward? You have 2 seconds to step forward. We were moved when we were registering persons. We never invited her, but she said she has something to say. And just the person to set the ball rolling. Please, you have 3, 2, 1 second to say something. Introduce yourself. Come over here. Please give her a round of encouraging welcome, please. Please.
My name is Chizebube Paluku, and I'm here to support this Obi-Datti campaign with sum of 100,000 naira.
Oh, no. Account. Please, is that the way you can appreciate her? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Can somebody use a bulldozer? Can somebody use a bulldozer to send home this token? And please, thank you so much. Your class. Please, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
And then we want to assure you that you have school system, hospital system, that would work. Please.
Okay, as that is going on, we needed a bulldozer to send in that. And I want to throw it a little bit up. Who can really send this in, please? I'm getting a hand raised from here. Who can send this in? While we are waiting for that, I'm sure all of you have gotten this card that have been sent to your table. Have you gotten the card? Please, is this table having this card? Please. Now, we are asking that when you open this card over here, you see your name, you see a contact, and you see a telephone number. And we'll have where you say you state, and there's a bank information for you. We'll encourage you. For us to deliver Obi to Aso Rock, we need to get a reliable plane. We do not want a plane that they'll say aviation fuel is finished. We do not want a situation where they say the airport people are on strike because they have not been paid. We will not want a situation where there will be security because he's bringing his solution. So if you want Peter Obi at Aso Rock, say yeah. I want this to respond. If you want Peter Obi to Aso Rock, say yeah. Now put an energy to that yeah. Put an energy to that yeah. Okay. If you want to say something, this microphone is open to you. Who wants to open the floor? Who wants to open the floor? Did I see a hand here? Is there any hand on this table? How about that table? Okay. Now, when you get the card, I'm sure you have your pens, right? And whatever it is that we have to do. Do we want Peter Obi at Aso Rock? Yes. Can we put it into action? Yes. How are we going to do that? Okay. Thank you very much. I see a hand there, right? Are the hands up? Okay, thank you. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. Please, give him a microphone. Can you give me space?
Please, if you can get assistance to just move around and make sure you pass the mic on time.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
My name is Prince Kabari Opi Agara, Akeyo the 7th of Ogoniland. My brother, Engineer Sam, invited me here. He's the Deputy Governor of the Labour Party. I'm not feeling very well, but as a matter of patriotism and commitment, and with the pain in my heart that the Ogoni oil field has been locked due to issues of social, economic, and environmental justice for over 30 years now. And experts say over $177 billion has been lost due to this stalemate. I, on behalf of the Kani people of Ogoniland in Bori, Capital Territory, who built the first community secondary school and also input into education in Nigeria, we donate the sum of 500,000 naira through him.
500,000, that's great.
Thank you. Please. No.
Your Excellencies, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, at this juncture, permit me to invite the National Chairman of the Labour Party for his goodwill message. Mr. Chairman.
The presidential candidate of our party, all other candidates of the party here present, other party chieftains, captains of industries are present here this evening. I crave your indulgence to stand on existing protocol. It is perhaps most convenient to start by first appreciating all of you for your time, for taking our time to be on this program. There's no gainsaying the fact that for those of you who are here, it's born out of your patriotism, it's born out of your zeal and commitment to rescue our country from collapse. It is very obvious that our dear country, Nigeria, is not functioning the way it should be. Today, the country is suffering from insecurity, from hunger, from unemployment. Inflation today is double digits. There is no food, no infrastructure. The educational sector, the health sector have all collapsed. And all of this, no doubt, is as a result of cumulative failures of leadership over the years, which APC and PDP have given to us for the past few years. Luckily enough, for us in Labour Party, we've had this vision over the years to have an alternative political party, a party that will be the voice of the voiceless, a party that will champion and pursue an alternative government policies and work towards the realization of a better country where you have effective service delivery to the people. And this has been the vision. And luckily, I'm happy today that that vision of the party is gradually gravitating towards its realization. This is gradually coming to fruition, no doubt because we have found a presidential candidate of the party who has given life to the struggle to liberate the country. And so I want to appreciate all of you for this event. I appreciate your patriotism. No sacrifice is too much to be made to realize or to pursue this cause. Indeed, we are very close to the election. Election is next month, 25th. I know that the whole of South is obedient. There's no doubt about that. But our people say it is not over, not until it is over. There is still a lot of work to be done. We have just concluded the uploading of polling unit agents. Close to the election, there are still several things that we need to do. And I'm sure that's why the organizers of this program have put together this business summit to see how we can raise funds to support the project, to support the fight, to change Nigeria. Like I said elsewhere, one man cannot fund a presidential election. And like we have always said, this struggle is for all of us to be united and take back the country. And in that pursuit, you are a major stakeholders in it. And therefore, whatever you can do by way of support, either financially, in terms of material, in whatever way possible that you can support this cause, we will be very grateful. And as national chairman of the party, I want to assure you and promise you that we will reward all of your efforts by giving you good governance. So let me conclude by thanking you in advance, hoping that we all contribute our quota to see how we can rescue the country and have a better country. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Every time, I told you, every time someone representing this great party and movement is saying something, you will hear fact figures and you can feel the depth of insight and how they understand commerce economy, and there's so much that we are pursuing. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we would not like to keep our principal for too long. We want you to look at the forms you have and begin to look how much we're chasing and how much we have to accomplish and start filling them. But right now, what we want to do, the most important thing that we've expected all this while is about to happen now. So if you are ready, I'm not sure you are ready to hear from the man himself. If the man who has that vision, the man who has integrity, the man who represents what a new Nigeria stands for, a man who has built businesses. When he talks about business, he talks from the place of experience. When he talks about business, he talks from the place that he, with his competence, can deliver excellence. He will run a government that is void of corruption. He will run a government that will bring the very best to bear. Please. And then I've been asked to inform you there's a lot of food and drink. The hotel is also offering 50% discount in case you want to make an accommodation. Please, at this point, with a standing ovation, the incoming president of Nigeria, His Excellency Dr. Peter Obi. Please put your hands together. Thank you, sir. Happy to meet you again.
Please be seated, please. Let me respectfully stand on all existing protocols and thank all of you for sacrificing your time to be here, and sincerely apologize that we came in a bit late. I apologize sincerely. I did mention to Professor Utomi that today we're supposed to campaign in Maiduguri. So we started our morning with an event. When I came in here, somebody told me, I saw you at the Dunamis event last night. I said, yes. I left there at 6 a.m. this morning to go and change, to go to Maiduguri. And from Maiduguri, we're here, and we're rushing back to Lagos. And some people are waiting for me in Lagos the way you people have waited now. So I sincerely apologize. It's just the nature of this. But I'm very, very, very grateful and appreciative of what you're doing. Coming out this evening, being here, considering how busy all of you are, shows that you care and you have interest in helping us to build a better nation. We're all committed. We know how bad things are in this country today. I don't need to tell you how bad things are. One of those who can say that they feel how bad it is, the pain and everything, and I say with every sense of responsibility, is the South. Because they have had to bear the brunt of having to be the source in which our livelihood has come for several years without anything to show for it. And I say it every day. Today they've lost. They didn't have anything to show for the oil they've produced and given us to share. The environment is devastated. So when the oil is finished, they'll have much. And I said, we need to start turning it around. I was in the north today. And I said to them, this election we are going to fix will not be by tribe. It is no longer ethnic thing. If it is, why are the poorest people in the north? Why is north the most unsafe place in Nigeria? So leadership has nothing to do with is my own people. All Nigeria have produced in the past 20 years is poverty. That's the only thing we have increased. all Nigeria have produced in the past 20 years is out of school children. That's the only thing we have increased. Today, you know, we have more people living in poverty than India. In fact, we have more people living in poverty than India and China combined. These two countries are 2.8 billion people. We're 200 million people, but we have more people living in poverty than two of them combined. The only thing that have increased in this country is poverty, out of school children. Our youth unemployment is the highest in the world. Our youth drug prevalence is highest in the world. We have overtaken India in infant mortality. That's why the fact that there are 1.4 million. So everything that is wrong is where we're facing, and everything. Our debt has increased without anything to show for it. I was in Bauchi 2 days ago. And I tell them that whenever I come to Bauchi, I feel a sense of pain. That here comes where we had somebody like Tafa Balewa, who borrowed the first money ever this country borrowed. That in June 17, 1964, Tafa Balewa applied to World Bank to borrow $82 million to build the Kainji Dam. And whenever I read that letter, I have a sense of pain. Because it says in that letter, Nigeria is borrowing this money to build a 760 megawatts of electricity to support the economic growth of Nigeria. 64. And the World Bank replying that letter thanked him for his vision and said this will definitely help in building a better Nigeria. 59 years after, the value of that money today is about $1.2, $1.3 billion. 59 years after, we could still see the Kainji Dam. Today, our debt is 77 trillion if you add the ways and means. If you divide it with 410, which is what government uses to calculate, it will give you exactly or about $187 billion. Which if you divide it with about 1,250,000,000, you're going to have 150 times. Where is 150 Kainji dams? So we can say that is why we borrowed the money. The money was stolen. So we don't have it. It's gone. It's finished. And we have to pay the debt. Our children will pay it. Because so many Nigerians don't know that the bonds we're issuing today are not payable. Most of them are not payable. As you go down, you go and look at Nigerian Euro bonds today. They're all payable 1950, 1969. They've all have gone down. And our children will be saddled with debts, which their fathers have stolen and consumed. And nobody cares for the future of our children. And everybody is every day. So for me, this is time to live a normal life. Unexamined life is not worth living. We must examine our life. We must ask ourselves questions. How did we get here? How did we become part of this nonsense? How can we live in a country where we have criminalized the country, celebrate criminality? And that is why Daddy and I decided, and a lot of people who are involved, sacrificing their time, our chairman, Pastor Utomi, all these people, everybody got up and said, well, listen, we must save this country. The country today is in a total mess that you don't even know where to start. Nobody is safe to go to anywhere. If you tell people from the east now, go home, they will not. If you tell people from the north, go home, they will not. If you tell people from, even people here now, There's so many areas they cannot go. So we are now stuck, caged. Everybody is living in fear. Today, everybody I told I'm going to Maiduguri today said to me, is there no way you can campaign without going there? I said, hey, how? Peter, the other way we saw you in southern Borno. How can you go to southern Borno where they say this thing? And that is the challenge. My dear people, it's not just about contributing money. I know you're going to contribute money. I know you're going to do anything to support. But there's a pain. The same people are going around now buying votes in the creeks here, where the water is polluted, where they have no future, where the children cannot live. They're now paying 10,000 naira for their votes. And they're going to take it. When the same people have ruined the future of your children. This is time for you to wake up. If you can't contribute money, please go to the village and tell them they're not safe. This is time to go to the churches and remind the church, the bishop, everybody, that this money these people are collecting is poison. You're ruining the future of your children. It is no longer about us. It's the future of the society our children will live in. So I'm appealing to all of you, any way you can support for us to rescue this is critical, is important. If it's money, please do. If it's moral, if it's material, whatever you sacrifice for this, you're doing it for the future of your children. I've said it repeatedly. I can change this country. A new Nigeria is possible. And I've asked people, let nobody listen to anybody. I know you belong to different, or you have sympathy for different parties and different organizations. This is time to re-examine your sympathy. This is time for you to re-examine your support for different persons, and let us have a Nigeria that we all can celebrate and say we're citizens of Nigeria. We have things, you can read our manifesto. It's in software, it's in hardware. We've said we want to secure and unite Nigeria. Nigeria has never been so divided. Nigeria has not suffered insecurity that it's suffering today. And it's not because the enemy is more formidable. The enemy is not. The criminals are not more formidable. It is because of weak leadership and weak security governance architecture. And that's why I said people should hold me responsible. It stopped on my desk. We will deal with this. We win with those who win, who are winnable, and we deal with those who don't want to agree. We said we want to make Nigeria productive so our children can have jobs, so we can create this. We want to stop consumption in this country. We've consumed the future of our children. We must move from this conspicuous consumption to production. We must now ensure that people who have money or who have wealth must be entrepreneurial. Wealth must come with enterprise. Wealth without enterprise kills the society. And that is the corrupted side of our society. We will fight corruption. Nobody will do it the way we will do it. And I said, people have come here, tell you they will fight corruption. People will come here, tell you they will do this. My question is very simple. I've told you this election is not about ethnicity. It's not going to be about religion. If anybody tells you about religion, ask him to show you mosque or church where they sell bread cheaper. So you can go there and buy it. It's not going to be about anybody's turn. It's turn of Nigerians to take back their country. So let nobody come and say it's my turn. It has to be about character. If anybody says, I want to be president, tell us who you are. Utomi Baba Ahmed is my vice presidential candidate. Today in Boronu, he told them the primary school he went to, secondary school he went to, and he became a graduate of the University of Maiduguri. And from there, he named his school where he went to in the UK. Everybody knew who he is, his age and everything. And I told them the same thing. My name is Peter Obi. I was born in Orange. I went to Christ the King College. I'm an alumnus of Nsukka. And I've said everywhere. I've been an alumnus of Oxford, Cambridge, IMD, everywhere. That you can go and check the records. Let every other person who is contesting the election come using his own mouth. Tell us who he is. His name, his age, schools he went, those he went to school with. It's a character issue. It is important. It is not a mystery issue. It is a serious issue. Because you want the children to learn. A young girl had just come out here now and said, I am so and so person. I'm in SS2. And I told him who I am. And he can go and Google it. And what you see there is what is right. That's what we want to do. If anybody says they want to fight corruption, let him go and show us the place he passed. So we can look at it and know what remained. The biggest form of corruption is nepotism. It's the worst. Appointing people who are incompetent, appointing your families and everything. Show us where you passed. We have all served. So we know. I was governor of Anambra State for 8 years. And I've told people, go there and verify whether their money is missing. Go there and see what we were able to do. Go there and look for whether there was any civil servant who was being owed salary the day I left service. Go and check whether there's any of them who retired and was not paid his gratuity. Go and verify whether there's anyone that is being owed pension. And above all, I don't need to tell you, everybody knows, and I say it every day, that what I left in 3 banks, cumulatively was 75 billion. It's documented. I've all the statements intact. Every other colleague of mine who left government when I left have pension, gratuity, or one thing or the other. My own people brought it to me to sign, and I said it's wrong. And I stand to say it's wrong. If you want to serve and God gives you opportunity to serve and go home. If you're not doing anything, don't go there. Since I left Anambra, they've not bought me a bottle of water. Because I was entitled to nothing. I've served them. So I'm appealing to you, people of South-South, I want to rebuild South-South. I want to clean it up. I want to make it work. I want to bring back the glories of cities like Port Harcourt. I thank the governor for what he has done with infrastructure in this state. He has improved the infrastructure of this capital. With what I'm going to do, we will change it. Port Harcourt will become what it used to be. A state that everybody, and so will it be in the South-South. How can Nigeria borrow in 5-6 years? We borrowed nearly 50 trillion. And we could not complete the most important infrastructure in the South, where the oil comes from. East-West Road. As at the time I know about that road, all we need to complete it is 250 billion naira. And our country borrowed 50 trillion naira. 50 trillion means that we would have completed over 100 East-West Road. And we didn't do that. We didn't do one. Where the oil comes from. And people are not rioting. You're very peaceful people. In other than that place, nobody will take The oil is being stolen. I can go on and on. The night is fast spent. Help us in any way you can. Help Baba Obi-Datti and myself wants to build a new Nigeria. We're capable, we're qualified, and we will show it. I'm happy that Julius Abure, who spoke to you this evening, is also from South. I told the people in the North that we're also bringing governance to a level it should be, that if you check the average age of the three most important people involved in our party, which is myself, the vice presidential candidate, and the party chairman, that three of us combined, and divide our age, we're 55. If you combine the other party, the main opposition, they are 70. If you compare the party in government, nobody knows their age. So we're 15 years differentially, and it's important. This job requires character, competence, capacity, compassion. And above all, it requires physical and mental energy. It is important. You have to be in charge. Otherwise, I won't have been awake all night, go to Maiduguri, come here, and I'm going to Lagos. We need people who are capable now. We can no longer waste anybody's time, because time is against us. Please help. Please help. Donate. Know that whatever you're doing so for the future of your children. We can't bequeath our children anarchy. The society that has been abused so far, and we're allowing them to abuse, will take its revenge on our children. God bless all of you.
Put your hands together, please. Clap, clap, clap. Give him some standing ovation. Clap for the most complete presidential candidate.
Okay. Well, thank you all so much. Thank you. I want to enjoin us to please continue the program, because what you are doing here is important to achieve the things that have been promised. Thank you. We'll just take a run to another meeting some distance from here. Thank you all. God bless you. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. While we wait for the president in waiting to go to leave us, remember the message. Let the message stick in our mind. Today, you have to commit yourself. You have to put in action your commitment. He has asked you, in whichever way you can make this journey peaceful, straight, and possible. You have it. If you have filled your forms, please, the ushers are available to pick them. It will make nonsense of the situation after we have heard the messages and we cannot action it. It is not right. So, you have filled your form. We still have a lot. We still have a dinner for all of you. So, if you have filled your form, let us collect it. If you want to make an open donation, thank you. We have some people who want to say one or two things.
Please,
to announce their presence.
Can you sit down for the dinner proper?
Please. Can we really give credence to what our principal have said? Can we really put into practice what he has committed us to say and to stand? This is the time for action. This is the time for action. This is the time for action. It is not enough to hear and clap. It is now to put it into action. That seed you have sown tonight will yield good governance for your children, for your great-grandchildren. But if you decide to keep the seed in your pocket, it will grant you no value. And we are pleading with everybody to see this as a crayon call and come to rescue Nigeria. Whatever value of money you are putting in, whatever value of support you're putting in, it has a multiple effect. And that multiple effect is that your roads, the poverty level will be reduced. He's not coming to do magic, but at least he can arrest the situation. We are sliding into a coma. In short, Nigeria is in a coma. We all know that. And we continue to encourage. Okay.
Please be seated.
Okay.
And enjoy your meal.
So while we are waiting to take our meal, it gives us a privilege to invite the group president of GGI, Chief Innocent. Please, can you come forward and say one or two words to us? Chief Innocent, can you step forward?
Chief Innocent, please come forward.
Can we encourage Chief Innocent with some rounds of applause,
Clap for
please?
Chief Innocent. Clap for Chief Innocent. Immediately.
Okay, while we are waiting for Chief... Huh? No, wait. So, you are holding us to dinner. Why did I say you are holding us to dinner? Because we have here for a purpose. If you continue to watch me, I will continue to watch you. If you do something, we will do something. And the only way to do something is to commit that all that are principal, look at it, if not for anything, look at it, to move all the way from Bronu to Lagos, Lagos to Port Harcourt, Port Harcourt back to Lagos. If not for nothing, please do something.
Thank you very much.
Yes, and we know that some people have completed their form. If you have completed your form, please raise up your hand so that the ushers can pick it up. Okay, His Royal Highness is here. He has completed your form. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. You want to say something? Thank you, sir. This seed you are sowing, you're sowing for your grandchildren. Thank you, sir. Thank you, His Royal Highness. If somebody else completing his form, okay, thank you. God will encourage you. Thank you, ma. Her Royal Highness, it is a great pleasure. Yeah.
Ushers, please go in and collect
ushers,
the field forms.
Ushers, please attend to Her Royal Highness, please. And one thing about it, we have asked you to leave your phone number because somebody is going to tell you thank you. I don't know the person, but the voice you are going to hear will say thank you. You are going to hear a voice that will say thank you. That is why we say keep your phone number. There's a docket. You keep the docket, the amount you write, and the amount on the docket, because that person that will call you to say thank you will say thank you for this amount. And we will encourage you to keep your docket.
You fill one part?
Yes. It has a docket. You fill one part. You give us the bigger one. You keep the small one. And make sure you keep your number. Write your number correctly. Because somebody is coming to tell you thank you.
Please, table by table from the reserved table, you may proceed to the dinner stand for your refreshment.
Yes. And we said, okay, please, if you look at the card, sorry, let me show you. Okay. Somebody's coming to speak, and if you look at this, you see the one that has the account number, is the bigger one. So that is the one you keep. We will take the docket, and we are going to call you and say thank you.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this is a fundraising business summit. And we have people in the house who may want to make open donations. And therefore, we will take 5 minutes to allow them to come to the podium or come out to make their donations. Yes, the card has been served. You can write on it, but there are people here who may want to make open donations of 2 billion, 5 billion, 10 billion, because the money that is needed for this project is not small at all. We are talking of Nigeria, and South has bailed the card. Therefore, the MC will be inviting those who may want to come out and openly donate. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Please, you may now start.
Please permit me to invite to the podium, to the mic, Dr. Patrick Oya.
Dr. Patrick Onya.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Actually, my purpose of coming out is not just to make public the donation, but to say that, in this kind of business, when you call for this kind of fundraising, those who don't have 1 million, 2 million to give may not have the opportunity. There are a lot of people who want to support this cause who don't know how to support. And I'm saying this, those of you who are involved directly, I think you may need to reach out more people. I have professionals, colleagues. I'm a medical doctor. There are many people who are ready to put in 200,000, 100,000, to make this cause come to fruition. But when you call for this kind of donation, they will be thinking it is 1 million, 10 million, event. Another way to do it, there is this song this person has composed. If you tune onto the radio stations, we are not hearing much. You will be hearing about the people who say it's their turn. If you have jingles, there are people who are ready to sponsor 50 jingles. And this February, I think we have to make it that way. If you bring the jingles, I have friends. Some will take 10, some will take 50, some will take 100. So that every day, every minute, we'll be having jingles on P2B. I think that is another way of, And then when you go to the various local governments, some people can take up a word. I'm going to deliver this word. It is that way, and whatever it is involved to deliver a boot, somebody can take it up. So I think you will need to get some people also to give ideas. For this evening, some of us have been doing a lot of things at the background. I have printed a lot of things, which I have given out. My children are obedient militants. They are sponsoring a lot of things through me. But we are going to continue until we get that work done. For this evening, I'll give a 1 million naira.
Thank you so much. We have actually, please, can you clap for him? Thank you so much, Doctor. Definitely, we have taken those advice, and for sure, we'll make our numbers and contact readily available, and therefore, more people will contribute. If you give 10 naira, this one give 10 naira, this one give 10 naira, by the time you know what's happening, it's building up. So, can we hear the next person who want to say 1 or 2 words to us? Please. Can we hear 1 or 2 words from here? From that table, do we have some level of encouragement? How about this other table? Do we have some level of encouragement from this table? Well, I will start pointing tables now. How about that other table there? Table 18. Do we have some encouragement? Are we being attended to at table 24? How about table 23? Please, let's have some energy into this. Let's have some energy into this. Let's have some energy into this. Do we really believe in this cause?
Gani, garin sake cewa, kasan wani su suna da taurin kai. inda ba ku san inda PVC yake ba, kuma kuna tafiya daga wannan ofishi INEC zuwa wani, kuma suna gaya muku katin ku baya nan, ka duba takarda da INEC ta baku. Za ka ga lambobi 6 mai suna delimitation number. Kaji ba? Delimitation number ne. Ku dan rubuta sai ka aika zuwa 8014. Kaji ko? Ka aika zuwa 8014. Za ku sami amsa gaya muku inda katin ku yake, sai ka je kan ka karba. Duk wanda ya gara katin ku bai shirya bane, karya ne, kar ku yarda su. Don haka ba, ka a rika tafiya daga ofishin INEC zuwa wancan. Ka gane? Kawai ka aika wandanan lambobi 6 zuwa 8014. Kaji ko? Ka aika wandan lambobi 6 zuwa 8014. Za ku san wurinku. Ka gane? In ka aika number din zuwa 8014, za ku san wurinku. Sai ka je ka doka katinka. Ka san na shine sokaka. Tattara PVC dinku yana da mahimmanci a gare ni. Don haka ina son wannan su. Don haka ina son kowa ya samu nasu. Ka gane? Ina son kowa ya samu nasu. Shine lokaci.
Onukuru Igbo 3 River State, we thank you so much. Eze, Dr.
Anything coming
Innocent,
from this table? Nothing.
Adele, thank you so much, Daddy. Thank you so much for your support. Please, just we can walk up to your table and then we give you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Please, do we have some response from this table? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Right as your heart directs.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Did we have any response from your table?
Please, there's a donation from here.
Huh? Okay. Igwe, do we have something? This table, do we have something? Good. Oh, thank you.
Good evening, all. I was privileged to be here this evening, courtesy of the planning committee chairman. He told me today, please, you must be here. I know your busy schedule, but you must make up time to be in this place. The count we've given to us, I've collected 5 extra because I have some colleagues who have been looking for a way to make donations into Labour Party account for Obi-Datti party movement. So I'm here this evening to support this movement with 1 million naira.
1 million naira.
Thank you very much, sir. We really appreciate.
Thank you. On behalf of him and the...
Please, 1 million naira.
For him.
If you have not done anything on your table, please.
Sir, what's the name?
Allow the people who are doing something access the dinner table.
I beg, you never donate, no chop. I beg. I don't carry PMC.
Have you eaten? Come and take your food. Come. Come and take your food.
Nah.
Come. Go there and take your food.
Please, the caterer, help me, the band. The band we've been here since 12 p.m. And they cannot leave the bandstand now. Make provision, please. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
Donate. If you have 1 million, you want to give 1 million, you have 990,000 naira. I can complete it. We'll do it together. Bring your 990,000. I'll make it up. Don't worry. You just round figure 1 million. We'll do it together. We'll win together. Anything you they eat, they sure say, I don't go occasion. You know, reach 10 minutes. Woman when first rush go collect food. Now she first the holla. Which kind of sour soup is this? Which kind of ase madam which have
Gani very sake cewa kasan wani su suna da taurin kai inda ba ku san inda PVC yake ba kuma kuna tafiya daga wannan ofishi INEC zuwa wani kuma suna gaya muku katin ku baya nan ka duba takarda da INEC ta baku zaka ga lambobi 6 mai suna delimitation number kaji ba delimitation number ne kudan rubuta sai ka aika zuwa 8014 kaji ko ka aika zuwa 8014 za ku sami amsa gaya muku inda katin ku yake sai ka je kan ka karba duk wanda ya gara katin ku bai shirya bane karya ne kar ku yarda su don haka ba ka a rika tafiya daga ofishin INEC zuwa wancan ka gane kawai ka aika wandanan lambobi 6 zuwa 8014 kaji ko ka aika wannan lambobi 6 zuwa 8014 za ku san wurinku ka gane in ka aika number din zuwa 8014 za ku san wurinku sai ka je ka doka katinka ka san na shine sokaka tattara PVC dinku yana da mahimmanci a gare ni don haka ina son wannan su don haka ina son kowa ya samu nasu ka gane ina son kowa ya samu nasu shine lokaci
walking alongside Peter Stone Cold and the band. Wonderful, wonderful. The boogie band, thank you as well. God bless everyone. You're going to get the closing remarks soon. But while we're having our dinner, we'll just hold brief for the band. At some point, the band, they've been here since noon, and they've been giving us the best of music. The best of music. Please, presidential chicken. They need a chop am. Leave bono. That chicken you see 19,000. If you know you will not finish it, don't even start. The bottle water, I was saying 1,000. I guess you don't pass now. Alpha. You don't donate. On behalf of the plan.
Somebody said they need more cards. If you need more cards, could you raise your hand up if you need more cards?
Don't forget, like we informed you before.
Please, finance, let me have some more cards. Finance, let me have some more cards.
The hotel is giving out 50% discount if you came for this event and then you want to make accommodation. And then the cards are also available if you have dignitaries or people you want to give cards that didn't attend this event. The committee can hand you some of these cards to take to them.
If you need more cards, thank you. God bless you. I know. I trust this table.
50% reservation for every room, courtesy of the hotel presidential. They know cards, they know how much they are buying diesel. They are suffering. They are suffering. Diesel 1 liter, 900 naira. Before for this presidential.
God bless you.
It was cheaper.
God bless you. If you need more cards,
just ask. You will hear about the boss. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got Bookie.
Do we need more cards on this table?
Sit tight and enjoy yourself.
Why are you carrying hand on your head?
Life is short like short.
Committee, I see my yard boy for this place. How my yard boy carry entire? I mean, no, I'm for yard.
Thank you so much. Have you written?
I carry entire. Person where they unemployed, they enter business.
I know him now. I know him.
Please, you need extra card to take gift to your friends, your colleague. Yes.
Yes. Where are the? If you want to give us your card, the completed form, please raise your hand or raise your card. Let me come and pick it up.
Please, the person with
Yes.
the manifesto will need it, please. Some people still need it.
Do we have people with outstanding cards here so that we can pick? Have you completed? Thank you so much. Have you completed? Okay. Let me have the small one. No, you give us the small. You keep the big one. You give us the small docket. You keep all the small dockets. No, you keep the.
Do your work, do your work. Arise, arise. Arise. No, now they make us proud. You understand? You people are arise. And you are awake too. You are not just arise. All the media houses, we want to say big God bless you. Thank you to all the media houses who came out here. The press, the print media, everyone, as soon as I come, may God bless you. And we also want to inform you, if you came from every TV or radio station,
please.
We need to give shishi. We need to give shishi. Delete it now if you want to delete it. Don't come and disturb us. I will talk to you now. When I don't come to worry us now. Peter Obi news, now they say now. No, I'm supposed to pay Peter Obi as the movie starts now. For Peter Obi, you have something you can. If you go and collect news the other side, Bulaba. Is it for a while? You go ya Obi, import and export. Amen. I like them. Nigeria go slow, Go slow. Please, you want to take extra cards and give to your friends? We have them take and give to your friends. If you have any enemy, we get money. Give. Collect, give away.
Dear Nigerians, INEC has further simplified the collection of PVCs at ward level for all. An electorate only needs to text the first 6 digits of his or her temporary PVC delimitation number to 8014. For example, text 321516 to 8014 and you receive this. See? It's that simple. This message is proudly brought to you by TAP TV, your daily slice of info.
being your host this evening. My name is K. Obaba. I'd like to say that we must keep pushing this message. Don't get tired. Whether you are pushing from the business front, from the community grassroots, make sure the message is on. We must keep pushing this message. No amount of blackmail, no amount of threatening, bully, mockery can stop us from making the move to rescue Nigeria. Thank you so much. See you again. Exactly 3 months from now, we will meet here. But right now, I will go out.